Good morning, students. Welcome to the virtual classrooms. We are studying the chapter number 5, States of Matter. We know it that we get it as in solid, liquid and gas as a states of matter. But what is responsible factor for the states of matter? Then we know that there are the two factors which are responsible. One we studied, intermolecular forces, and the second one is thermal energy. These are the two factors which are responsible for the change in the states of matter. We studied it, the first one, in our first lecture, intermolecular forces. The second one, that is the thermal energy. Now what is thermal energy? The energy arises due to motion of the molecules. The energy that is arised due to the motion of the molecules. Now, what is the responsible factor for the motion of the molecules? We can say that temperature is directly responsible for the motion of the, we know it that if the temperature of the substance, if we increase it, then the particles will have a higher kinetic energy. They will start to move here and there. That means the motion of the molecules will increase. And if the motion of the molecule increases, the energy also increases. That means temperature is directly responsible for thermal energy. Temperature increases, thermal energy of the molecules also increases. But at the same time, if the thermal energy increases, that means the temperature increases, the motion of the molecule increases, intermolecular forces decreases. See, if temperature increases, motion of molecules increases. That is, intermolecular forces decreases. With increase in the temperature, motion of the molecule increases, and that means intermolecular forces decreases. As a result, you can say that thermal energy and intermolecular forces are inversely proportional to each other. They are inversely proportional to each other. So we studied it that if intermolecular forces are there, if they are more, they form solid. Solids are having higher intermolecular forces of attraction, so they form more intermolecular forces, solid. Then liquid, that means we say that solids are having higher intermolecular forces than the liquids are having higher intermolecular forces than gas, right? So that is decreasing intermolecular forces. At the same time, what will happen? They are thermal energy and intermolecular forces are inversely proportional to each other. So at that time we can say that decreasing gaseous molecules will have maximum thermal energy, whereas the solids will have the least thermal energy. So we can say that solid is greater than liquid is greater than gas, intermolecular forces are there, the reverse factor will be there, gas will be having higher than the liquid, liquid is having higher than the solid as an thermal energy, right? So they are inversely proportional to each other, right? Now these are the two different factors which were governing the physical states. Now out of that, in this case, in this particular chapter, we are going to study more detail about the gaseous state. So now we will learn about which are the, we already saw it for responsible for the states of matter. Now we are going to study about the gases. So which are the laws that are governing the gaseous state? So we will study now one by one the different laws which are governing the gaseous states of the substances, right? So we will now study about gaseous state. In more detail we are going to study about it. But before we study about the gaseous state, we know it or we are already aware about it. What are the characteristics of the gaseous substances? Then in the lower standard, you have already studied it, the gaseous state. But at that time, what did you study it was a certain limited terms, right? You studied it that they have no fixed shape, no fixed volume. These molecules are in a continuous motion. They occupy the complete shape of the vessel in which they are filled up, right? Additional to this, we are having it as the gases are highly compressible. These molecules are highly compressible. That means we can compress the gases. We know it that if I am having it as a balloon filled with air, we can compress it and we can make it smaller one, right? Okay. We also can exert a pressure from all the directions. It is not necessary that the balloon will be having a pressure applicable only from one direction. You can exert a pressure from all the directions. As well as the next important term that we are having it is the gaseous molecules are having a very low density, right? We know it that the gases are in a motion, they are not steady. Always solid will settle down but the gas will be in the upper. So that shows that the density of the gaseous substance are very low, right? So that are the general characteristics. Now the laws that which governs the gaseous state are we are having it as in 4 laws that are governing the gaseous state. Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law and Avogadro's law. Okay, all these laws depends on what? Now the gaseous states, they are depending upon the 3 main fundamental factors, that is pressure, temperature and volume. These laws, they are dependent on temperature, pressure, volume, right? These are the main 3 fundamental factors, external factors on which it depends, and all these four laws, they depend upon, or they are having it as a relation between the temperature, pressure and volume. All these four laws, the relation, we are going to get it as a relation between the temperature, pressure and volume. See, if I want to remember these laws, how easier can I? How can I make it as a simple factor? So for that case, it's not given in the book. This is simply with the help of the practice or with a certain concept, it is being drawn, that if I am having it as a triangle, I will be having three vertices: pressure, volume, temperature, whereas we will indicate this as Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, right? And volume and number of moles, we will be having it as an Avogadro's law. So if I can remember this triangle, pressure, volume, temperature, I can say that Boyle's law will have a relation between pressure, volume. Charles' law will have volume, temperature relation. Gay-Lussac's law will be of pressure, volume relation, right? So this is the simple diagram that we indicated, that how can I remember that whose relation will be responsible for the given laws, right? Now, understanding this, let's take it as an first one. Boyle's law. What does the Boyle's law indicates? That, see, it's a relation between the pressure and volume. So temperature is going to be constant. So we write it as, at constant temperature, pressure of a definite quantity of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume. Boyle's law indicates that for a constant temperature, a definite pressure of a definite quantity of a gas is inversely proportional to its volume. That means if I want to write its mathematical format, what we can say, that pressure is inversely proportional for temperature and quantity of a gas that are equals to constant. P is proportional to 1 by V, where T and N are constant. So if I remove it, P is equals to K by V, where K is proportionality constant, right? Therefore, can I write it as PV is equals to K? We get the equation as PV is equals to K. Now this is the general equation that we got it, right? Let us consider it, that for any given gas, what will happen if I am having it as the product of pressure and volume that should remain constant, does it or not? Or what will be the factor for it? Now, if we consider it, if we take initial pressure and volume of a gas as P1 V1, then what we are going to get it? P1 V1 equals to K1 for final pressure and volume of a gas P2 and V2 respectively, then P2 V2 equals to K2, but here K1 and K2 are constant and same. Therefore, P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. This is the equation that we are going to use it for the numericals. We will be having it as a numericals based on it. P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2. Right? We will solve the certain numericals based on this. Right? Now, if we plot a graph of it, if we go it for the graphical representation for the Boyle's law, then what we will be getting it? The graph is carried out at constant temperature. So, the graph which are shown for pressure and volume are known as isothermal. Why we are using the word isothermal? Here, during this, the condition is temperature should remain constant. If your temperature changes, the product of PV will change. So that means that at a constant temperature, when we are doing it, anything at a constant temperature, it's known as isothermal. Right? So the graph that we are plotting it of P against V or P against 1 by V, we are going to term it as isothermal graph. The graph when we are plotting it of P against V, we are going to get the graph in which it indicates that we are having it as a curve graph. This one will be at T1, T2, T3. This is of pressure against volume. The graph is of pressure against volume. We are going to get it as a curve graph. Right? Where it indicates that T1 is less than T2 is less than T3. This graph shows that as the temperature is lower, the graph we will be getting it as in this one. If the temperature rises, the product will change. You will get it as PV equals to as T2 graph. Right? If the same graph is plotted for P against 1 by V, if I plot the same graph, then we are going to get it as a straight line graph which originates from the zero value. P against 1 by V. The graph has been changed. We are getting it as a straight line graph, and we will be getting the same thing. T1, T2, T3. Here also T1 is less than T2 is less than T3. Right? So that shows us as an it's a from the origin. That means right from the zero factor we are getting it. Okay. Now this was the second factor that we saw it. How they are interrelated. Initial pressure, final pressure, graphical representation. Now the same equation for the Boyle's law that we got it. PV is equals to K. I want to go it for the relation with respect to density. I want to find out its relation with respect to density. So how we are going to get it? We know that density is equals to mass by volume. We know it that density of any given substance is equals to mass of the gas. Here D is density, M is mass of gas, V is volume of a gas. Therefore, can I write it? V is equals to M by D. V is equals to M by D. If I am putting it, P is equals to K by V, substitute the value, we will get it as P is equals to K M by D. D goes in the upward direction, so P is equals to K by M into D. Right? But we know it that K is constant and Boyle's law is taken for definite quantity of a gas, that is m is equals to constant. So from this we can say that density is directly proportional to the pressure of the gas, right? Because we know it that P and D, we have taken it that K and M are constant, so D and P is directly proportional to density, right? So from these given equations we can say that pressure is directly inversely proportional to the volume but directly proportional to the density, right? Is it clear? Okay, let's do it some numericals based on this particular equation. We will be having it as the equation to be used as P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. See, at present we are doing it as the numericals of this chapter based on one by one the formula that we will be doing it, and we will be using the formula for the numericals. But in exam you will have the complete chapter, so that means you will have to identify the formula. Once you can identify the formula, you can go for the numericals very easily, right? That is the basics of the chemistry. Not only for particular chapter I am talking about. Now onwards, whatever the chapter we will be going through, you will be having it as a numericals in it. And all the numericals have one basic thing in it. If you are able to identify the formula, that this is a formula that I have to use it straight away, put the values, go for multiplication, addition, subtraction and division. Nothing to think about it, right? Calculators are permitted to you. So only the factor is every time whenever you perform the you are going it for the numerical practice, make it sure that you are able to identify what is the formula that will be required, right? Okay, let us take it as some particular question that we are having it, and on the basis of that question we will try to go. Here today we are having a fixed formula. I want to go it for P1 V1 equals to P2 V2. That is the formula, right? But again I am repeating it. In exam which formula will be there, you will have to identify it, right? Okay. Now what is the question that we are having it for this? We are having the question, at constant temperature a gas occupies a volume of 200 ml at a pressure 0.720 bar. It is subjected to an Now, what does it shows? At constant temperature, so T is constant, a gas occupies a volume of 200 ml. That means, can I say that initial volume is 200 ml, where its initial pressure is 720 bar, 0.720 bar, that is given to us. Now, if this pressure is changed or the same component is subjected to external pressure, that means it's told to me P2, it becomes as 0.900 bar. Then what will be the V2 resulting volume? So now it becomes a simple P1 V1 equals to P2 V2, 0.720 into 200, that is equals to 0.900 into V2, So V2 will become 0.720 into 200 upon 0.900. See, this is in simple calculation, so I am doing it, right? You are having in calculators to go for it, so you can go for the using the calculators also very fast. This is cancelled out, so we get it as 72 into 2 by 9. 9 is the 72, 8 to the 16. We will be having it as an subjected to it. We will be getting it as an 160 ml. We will be having it as an 160 ml. So that is the answer. Simple. See, I identified this is the formula because particularly I am doing it at present only for that same formula. Same, you identify the formula and you will get the answer, right? So the sums you will be having it. Let's do it one more numerical. Similarly, right? We are having it as an given to us 200 centimeter cube of a gas at 800 mm pressure is allowed it to expand till the pressure is 0.9 atm, keeping the temperature constant. Calculate the volume of the gas. Right? Again, here while doing this sums, you have to be careful. Not only the formula, the one thing that we want to do it is the units are very necessary to be done. See, here we are being given in the different units. Volume is given to us 200 centimeter cube at a pressure 800 mm. Right? It's told to me that final pressure it's 0.9 atm. What is volume? Right? Now see, volume I can find out in centimeter cube, but mm and atm, they are the different units. So either convert this into atm or either convert this into mm, and we are having it as a relation 1 atm, that is 760 mm. Therefore, can I write it as P1 is equals to 800 upon 760, right? So what will happen? We get it as a formula P1 V1 equals to P2 V2 800 upon 760 into 200, that is equals to P2, that is 0.9 into V2. Therefore, V2 we are going to get it as 800, 200, 760 into 0.9. Find out the answer. This time I am not going it for the calculation because it's already an overtime, that excess time that I am taking for you. You are also getting bored. So make the calculation and you will get the answer. Right? So we saw it as in first law. We saw it Boyle's law and the numericals based on it, the graphs based on it. Right? We will see it in our next lecture related to the Charles law, Gay-Lussac's law, whatever we will be coming step by step. Right? Okay, thanks.